Good morning. Hey, we're gonna have some fun today. That is a complete lie. You might have fun. I'm not gonna have fun. I'm gonna be dealing with some sins today. These sins of using black plastic and landscaping cloth as a form of weed blocking or prevention or whatever to make it supposedly easier to deal with your gardens. Talk to you about why it's not useful or necessary, why it's actually kind of harmful, and why it's a huge pain in the butt and a waste of money. So that's part of the fun and part of my nightmare, I guess. This is not my favorite thing to do, but hang out with me, show you what's going on, and show you a little bit of removal, and hopefully you will see this and say, oh my goodness, Micah was so right. I should never use this stuff. And the world will be a better place. I'd see you in a minute. Okay, here's one of the nasties. Black plastic. Black plastic as a weed control method is just terrible. You know, the idea for getting rid of weeds is to block sunlight and water from getting to the soil. So I cut this strip away. Okay, yep, there's some soil. So it worked. I mean, there's no weeds here, but oh, there's a weed right there. Gee, that came right through. Here's more weeds. What else do we have over here growing through the plastic? Oh, here's my friend the blackberry. I love these. So this plastic didn't stop nothing. As soon as you get a little pinprick hole, weeds come right through. So what's the point? And it's a pain in the neck to deal with, and it's ugly. I don't like this stuff. So we're gonna have to come through here and, you know, rip up little sections like we did over here, pull them up and throw the plastic away. So we've just wasted something. It's not that cheap. It doesn't work that well. You have to put dirt over the top of it. And once you put the dirt on, weeds grow in the dirt anyway. And frankly, if you cut a strip like this and put a plant in, you're not getting water from anywhere except right above it. That plant's not going to get water. It's not going to, I don't think it's going to get sunlight correctly. I think this plastic can heat the soil too much and burn the roots. I don't know. I'm not a science man, but that seems like bad things. I had a garden I was dealing with one time where it was all black plastic, and we tried to plant through it and everything was stunted. And so I took it off and we tried to put vegetables in it, and all the vegetables were still stunted for the first season or so, because, you know, this just blocks everything. It can't be good for the soil. And this stuff's like a petroleum product. Oil and soil don't mix, we know that. I don't see any purpose for it. So, all right, on to my next and least favorite. Well, the two. I'm sure there's other ways to block weeds that are dumb, but the black plastic is one of them. We're gonna go to the next one. My arch enemy. All right, here it is, my arch nemesis, landscaping cloth. Look at this. Ah. Okay, so this stuff in theory is supposed to be really good for weed prevention and making gardening easier, because it lets, here, we'll cut some of this off, some water through the soil, or water to the soil, because this is just like a fine mesh of fibers that's kind of has just enough room for water to get through, but weeds aren't supposed to be able to get through. Well, that's bull hockey, as we can see here. You lay the landscape cloth out and cut holes in it and then put your plants through, and it's supposed to not let weeds come through. Well, I'm sorry, that doesn't work, because if you still get water, and you can see how it was opaque, you can get sunlight through to weeds, they're still going to grow, and eventually they're going to push through. And so then you get a mess like this where, let's get you closer. So weeds grew on top of the cloth and then pushed their roots through the cloth, because there's a little bit of dirt on top of the cloth, because you're not just laying the landscaping cloth out and then planting your plants. You want it to look pretty, so you put material on top, so the weeds grow through the stinking material. Or they push through the other way, which is what happened here. You know, I pushed this over with the tractor. I can't pull it out by hand, it's too heavy. And all of the weeds, you know, they have their roots in the ground. So stuff, now you can't remove it. So now what are we gonna do? You know, I'm gonna take the tractor out here. I've got to roll this stuff all this way. There's all landscape cloth under here. Look at how deep it is under this stuff. So that's real fun. We didn't prevent any weeds. So we'll come through here with the tractor, scrape it off, and then we'll have a real garden bed. And we'll show you in just one moment how to actually do some good weed prevention. If you're lazy like me or don't have time to go and do your weeding every day, that's fine. We can do some stuff that makes it so you have less weeds, and it's effective. So we'll show you that in just a sec. So what's my big fancy know-it-all solution to keeping weeds down and make it so you don't have to pull them as much? Well, you turn this, got a bunch of down branches here, look at them all, into this beautiful, bountiful wood chips. You know, we used to go out and just burn all the branches we had and trees and stuff, and Grandpa would either go out and painstakingly weed every little bit of land he had, flowers and vegetables on, or he'd go out and use poison. That was horrible. You know, or he'd just deal with a bunch of weeds, which wasn't nice. So I don't know why I never used these wood chips. He had tons of wood around the place, and all he had to do was invest a little money into a wood chipper, which is, we got one of those. You can get a really good wood chipper somewhere between 800 and 2,000 bucks, depending on the size of the wood you want to chip up, stuff like that. Or the way Anjum got this stuff, I got all these chips here. The way she got these, because she's really smart, is a service called Chip Drop. And Chip Drop is a free service. You can sign up on their website and they will, you know, deliver you wood chips from like sites where utilities were taking down a tree or something. They chip it up. They don't have room to get rid of this stuff, so it's a good deal for them. So they have this company Chip Drop bringing the chips. So that's really cool stuff. Wait for these cars to go by. Boy, it's nice living out remotely in the country, isn't it? Anyway, you get these free chips, or if you don't want to wait, because they do have to pay a company a little bit of money to take them away. If you don't want to wait to get wood chips, you can pay 20 bucks or so, and that will pay for the company to bring the chips to you. And she got these in a flash. So once all this stuff's gone here, all this gunk, this garbage, look at this trash, weed blocker landscaping cloth. That's really good if you're doing large scale farming and pulling it up every year, but not good if you're gardening. But once you get rid of that, you put wood chips in here, and the wood chips do the same trick. They block sunlight, but they still allow water through, and so anything you have planted around them will still grow because they're getting water, you know, and you're making room for them in the wood chips. You'll have weeds come out every now and then, but that's okay. You just pluck them. You don't get tons of them, and you can just keep piling the chips on year after year. All you have to do is be careful. You know, don't throw like cedar chips on your garden. Cedar kills stuff around it, for whatever reason, nature miracle, I don't know. So you want to avoid cedar, but other kind of wood chips, they'll do fine. And the worst thing that happens is you use cedar on accident, I guess, and stuff doesn't grow, and you learn for next time. It's easy to rake up. It's easy to put somewhere. You know, the wood chips look pretty, and over time they turn into dirt. So they're cheap or free, abundant. There's tons of wood chips out there. They do the job super well. They're super low maintenance, and they turn into topsoil, which is in dwindling supply. There's a huge benefit there. So that is why wood chips are awesome for gardening and weed control and making more dirt. You can use straw too. Straw, I've had buddies use that successfully. I just find that the wood chips, you know, are cheaper. So you can do both. You can lay straw all over the stuff. I don't think it looks as pretty. The wood chips at least look nice. You know, you can have a similar problem with wood chips where if you throw dirt on top of them, you grow weeds, but whatever. Everything's got a problem. So that's what's going on. I'm gonna get out the tractor, yank that stuff up, and start getting chips. To here. Oh boy, that was close. I just about got the tractor stuck out here. It's just, it happens so fast, you won't even realize it until it happens. So you really got to pay attention to wheel spin. My rear wheels weren't doing horrible, thank goodness. But my front wheels just kept digging and digging because I was trying to get this last little scrap out of here because I'm stubborn. Yeah, whatever. So at least I tilled this area up now, so it's ready. But yeah, I'll get back in here. We'll fill the dirt back in. I got to check the machine out. I kind of hooked the front tire on that post. I want to make sure I didn't pull it too hard and pop anything, seals or something. Probably didn't. I was being pretty gentle. But boy, yeah, it gets close, man. It's so frustrating when you get stuff like that. Nice big machine. Anyway, this landscaping plot, this is why I hate this stuff. Now it's all mixed in with the dirt. You know, topsoil is precious in my mind. So am I just gonna grab it all and go dump it and lose all the soil? I think I'm gonna try to come from the other end here, pick it up and shake out as much dirt as I can. It's frustrating to me, you know. Good dirt's hard to find, you know. It'd be nice if we didn't have to use artificial fertilizers to grow our food sources, and there's ways to do it, and I can talk on and on and on. But you know, what are we gonna do? Anyway, I don't want to lose that soil, and this stupid landscaping cloth is what's preventing me from getting to it. And it was supposed to be a help, and it's just a hindrance. So there we go. Waxing poetic is great, but you see, you know what's going on here. Don't use this landscaping cloth unless you're leaving it on the top with no dirt and you're using it for farming purposes. Then, you know, it makes a lot of sense. But I think also you should be I'm assuming you're pulling it up every year. I don't know if it's reused. I would assume not. It seems like a waste to me, but we can get into those things some other time. Look at that! Oh my goodness! I'm gonna have you look at this. Dude, all this ground, like under the plastic and in the plastic and on the edge of the plastic, there's a bunch of these old T-posts just chilling out in there. Ay, ay, ay. We were gonna just come through and like till this area up. Oh, there we go. The plastic's pretty strong. Say that for it. We were gonna come through and just till this up for a garden, but I'm gonna have to go through here with the grapple or something and find all these surprise T-posts. So that'll be an adventure. And maybe I'll just do it. Wasn't any more T-posts in there, so I broke it up okay. Went down pretty deep. I try not to displace the soil too much or like hook any roots from this guy. I think I might have accidentally bumped one. Oopsie, we'll just cover you up there. There we go. There's a bunch of roots out here, so I'll have to come through later and I'll break this up, but for now it's fine. I try not to displace soil too much because it's, you know, precious. You know, there's not a ton of this stuff to spare. You know, you got to make more if you can. So if you're out filling holes out in the back 40, you know, consider using grass clippings or other junk like that, you know, instead of just good rock or good soil. If you're gardening, the soil is precious. You know, people pay a lot of money for it. Okay, so maybe you don't want to put down 4 or 5 or 6 inches of wood chips to choke out weeds, or you just don't have it. You know, not everybody's got access to tons of wood chips, but you can get some. Well, we got our secret weapon, baby. Cardboard. I get this stuff from work. This is like 1,000 pounds worth of cardboard here. What do you do with this? You lay it down on the ground just like you were going to do with weed block. It has all the benefits of weed block without the drawbacks. If you need to pull it up, the weeds aren't going to get stuck in it. You're not going to be fighting with it, and it's not going to take the topsoil with it. So you lay this stuff down on the ground, put wood chips on top to kind of weigh it down in case there's wind, and when you come back a while later, all the weeds underneath have been choked out. As long as you get it in a good lattice work, which blocks the sun, the weeds aren't going to really come through. And the ones that do are weak. They're easy to pull out. Now, let's say you decide, okay, I've blocked out the weeds. Now I want to plant really dense vegetation or whatever you're going to do. That's fine. Pull it up. It's easy. You know, it's not a problem. Like in this area over here, what we're going to do is we pulled up all the plastic. And now this morning glory has come up. All right, so over winter, we're going to put the cardboard down, put wood chips on top of it. That's going to block this stuff out, eventually kill it. It's not going to stop water from getting into the soil. It's not going to further compact the soil, which plastic does. It dries it out and compacts it, or just robs nutrients. It's ugly stuff. Or the landscaping fabric, we're not going to have trouble pulling that off of here if we opt to do that. Or we can leave the wood chips with a barrier of the cardboard, and the wood chips, when they break down, are a little bit nutrient absorbing. They'll eat up your nitrogen. When you want vegetables, you don't want the nitrogen eaten up, so we can put a hole through the cardboard separating the wood chips that are helping prevent the weeds, but we still have a hole into the earth where you can plant what you're planting, and there you go, Bob's your uncle. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put some cardboard down for now, put some wood chips over, and start degreening this area and getting it out of weeds and into just dirt, and then we'll be able to make our plan once we get there. Here we go. So one of the things you will want to have with you is some little needly nose pliers. You know, if you're just picking up random cardboard from places, you know, sometimes there's staples in there and stuff. You're gonna, you know, examine the cardboard before you put it down and pull out the staples. Sometimes I get obsessive and you can pull off all the tape, which is probably a good idea if this stuff's in the garden. It's worth taking an extra couple minutes to do it. I kind of save these small pieces for later and just pick out the really big ones and lay those down because I'm lazy. And then stuff like this, it's real waxy. Wax covering on it. Probably not the best to use if you want it to break down real good. You still can, it'll break down over time. Otherwise, throw it in the recycling bin or you know, put it in the burn pile. Also, like a life pro tip, if you let the cardboard sit out in the rain, it makes it really easy to get all this tape off. A lot of times it won't even stick, you just like rip it off. You probably don't want a bunch of that stuff in the garden, and it makes it really easy to like pull out all the staples and stuff like that. As you definitely don't want staples out in the garden, because you're probably going to want to go like play barefoot out there, or you know, not step on nails and staples in general. So take the little extra time to prep your stuff. It doesn't need to be clean and pretty. You can just tear chunks off with the tape, but yeah, get it done and have some fun. All right, we're gonna keep going here. No. Saturday Blandmer Day. Letting that freedom ring. got out the rakes, kind of smoothed it around. It rained, kind of knocked it all down. So it's nice and compact. Wind ain't gonna pick it up and blow it away because we got lots of wind around here. And yeah, that's about all there is to it. You know, this isn't new mind-blowing information. This is like that back to Eden stuff, I guess. You know, we don't really do it like that. We're not planting right in the wood chips because you can't. The wood chips need to be broken down. They need to be practically soil, so they need to be mulch. This is cheap, easy, fast gardening, so we can get in and get stuff in the ground, you know. And we are collecting tons of wood chips. Wood chips are awesome out here. There's tons of them. We've got friends at a couple tree services who are always looking for something to do with their wood chips. We've told them, hey, we got a spot out here, you drop them whenever you want. We're happy to have them. You know, eventually we'll build up enough of that where, you know, we've run out of spaces that we're trying to do weed blocking on, and we just want to start making compost. So then we'll start gathering up those wood chips, add some extra stuff to them, and, you know, mix them up. And after a couple of years, all of a sudden we have really, really nice compost to start adding to the gardens. But for now, again, cheap, easy, effective wood chips. At the very least, if you have access to cardboard, it does a bang-up job of really blocking weeds, and you're not dealing with a mess. If maybe things happen in life and you can't you garden for a little while, and all of a sudden your weed block has been taken over, you know, and your plastic has killed everything beneath it, and the dirt's worthless. That's a real shame, you know. Or it's, I don't know, I'm getting on my soapbox. Anyway, we got tons to do out here. Oh, just tons and tons of stuff to do. So we better get back to it.